T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Hello. We can't hear you.
I literally, this battle I'm having with the mute button is so like reoccurring. It's sick. Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk podcast. This is the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. I'm here with the amazing Aisha Lomax.
You are so kind. I am here with the amazing Shay. You know what? It's backwards in the camera. So I'm like, which way?
Oh my gosh.
Whichever way.
Oh, that's true. Because like, oh goodness. Well, we're back for another episode. This is, I believe, episode 4. No, it's actually not 4. It's 5.
Yes, we're actually on track. So it's episode 5 for us, and we're also doing episode 5 of Women's Wrestling Army because we decided to skip episode 4, which was like a behind the scenes. So we're kind of we're synced up. So yeah.
I like that. All right. Well, I mean, this episode I really liked it. Obviously, we got a few great surprises always. So this week, this was the Warrior Fan Fest. This was the Forbidden Door weekend, and they were partnering with Warrior Wrestling for their matches. What did you think when you heard that whole thing? And then
I mean, I thought it was cool. Like for me, I was just kind of like, okay, like I'm going with the flow. Again, I was like, I don't know what this means. You always muted. I was like, this is cool. Yeah, just go with the flow. Wait. Hi, JD. He said, let's call it episode 4.5. Yep, something like that.
Sounds good to me.
Something like that. So, yeah, I thought it was really cool. And I liked, I actually liked the space, that they were in this time around. Because I liked that they're like in a gym, whatever, high school gym, or like whatever it is. But like, it was nice because it's like you can just let it like breathe. Like you just felt,
It was more spacious.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with you there. And the crowd was definitely invested. So it was fun to watch. I mean, so let's just see here. We have an interview with Vita Scott with Laynie Luck. That's the phone.
That's all right. So we start off with Vita Scott. She is talking to Laynie Luck, and we've seen Laynie Luck before. And Laynie, who is going up against Tasha Steelz, and she's basically, asking her, kind of what does it mean, for her to be going up against Tasha and things like that. Shay, I don't know if you're able to unmute yourself quite yet, but I was going to ask you, what did you think?
So what I thought was, I was happy to see Laynie because I believe we saw her. I don't know if it was the very last episode we saw her have a match with I think it was Alex Gracia.
No, Alex was with Gabby. So I believe we saw Laynie Luck in the episode before. I think she was with, oh man, I want to say Janai I want to say Janai Kai, but I could be wrong. The last time we saw Laynie Luck.
I definitely do. Well, we definitely do remember seeing her before. And I mean, she always brings it in the ring. So I was happy to see her. I'm always happy to see Tasha because I feel like Tasha is just such a vibrant character. Like she always brings so much energy to like anything that's going on with her. And it's just funny. It's like fun. Like, it's like, yes, she's bringing it in the ring, but it's also that she just makes it more exciting personally.
And I love her coming in with her sunglasses. I was like, let's go. Like, I know that's what she does, but like, it just felt like it was with the space that they're in, that it's, you know, bigger and they just have more space to move around. Like, you just felt it was more gravity with her entering. So yeah.
No, I totally agree with that. And I know that Laynie found this to be a really, really important win that she could possibly get. You know, Tasha being a former knockouts champion, that's a big deal. So I could see why she was like, you know, this could be a big win for me. So I was excited for her. So then we kind of move in to, I just want to say Alyssa Marino and Lenny Leonard are on the commentary as well. So we have Laynie Luck versus Tasha Steelz.
Yes.
Before they could even really get into anything, we have the virtuosa.
Yes.
Deonna Purrazzo comes out, and I'm like, do you want to talk a little bit about Deonna?
Yes. So Deonna, she comes out and is basically saying that, you know, she had, you know, her match lined up, but who she was wrestling against, and I forgot who it was supposed to be. I don't remember, but she, say it again, you're muted. Listen.
It's Ashley Vox. I believe she separated her shoulder from what Deonna said because she said she was going to do it herself anyways. So
yeah. So she said, we're just going to make this, it's going to be a 3-way match. So a little bit about Deonna. She is AKA the Virtuosa. And I actually knew a little bit about her before watching this episode, which was great. And so I'd seen her work with Impact Wrestling, who she's currently signed with. She is the Knockout World Championship 2-time, also AAA Reina de Reinas champion with Lucha Libre, and also Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. But also, this is just a small, I only give like a few stats, but she does have plenty of titles under her belt. And so, yeah, just I was really excited to see her because I do like what I've seen from her, watching a little bit of some of her matches, you know, Impact. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, that definitely was into it. And I also am a big fan, like, of all types of like matches. I love triple threats. Like that, for some reason, a triple threat will have me like like they're just so good. There's so many things that can happen. I feel like triple threat is just the perfect amount of people to be in a match for something crazy to go on. But let's get into the match. Deonna versus Laynie versus Tasha. Now, immediately, Deonna's like, we're Team Impact. We should form an alliance against Laynie to make it easier. I knew that would happen. But Laynie is not, she's just she's like a wild firecracker. So I was going to say wild and fire, and I said filed. We won't talk about it. But her offense, like, she's really good. It was just like coming out and it's crazy and she's jumping over everything. But she was able to use Tasha from the ropes as a springboard, and then she went for a crossbody on Deonna. So she already was figuring out ways to kind of, you know, get out of their little, you know, team situation that they wanted to have. Threesomes. What are you saying? JD, I just like what is that? What?
You know, no comment. Oops, sorry.
I like literally had to stop my whole sentence just to like, because I'm like yes, Laynie then hits a gator roll into a suplex, then a kip up. So Laynie was in full gear. She also got a double drop kick from both women. I was like, Laynie is not like, stop messing with Laynie. That's it. Deonna then pulls Laynie out of the ring at one point. And there was also a point where it was like Deonna and Tasha in the ring, and Deonna was kind of like kicking her feet because she does this all the time. It's kind of her way of saying you're a peon, like kicks her dust at you, you know. And then Tasha did it, and then Deonna was like, "Let me throw it back a bit. What are you talking about, lady?" That just cracked me up. Why is everyone always twerking with Tasha's in the ring?
I have no idea. I don't think I got a picture of that, but yes, someone in the crowd said like "drop it like it's hot" or something like that, and I'm like, okay.
They did. No, that was so funny to me. But how did you feel about the whole beginning sequence of this match?
I thought it started off really strong. I am a fan of Laynie Luck, you know, from what I had seen before, and so I was really excited, you know, coming into this, and really watching. I love like the double drop kick. As I said before, I do like a drop kick. Like, you know, that's my move. I know there are plenty of other fancier moves and like great, but I love seeing a drop kick. It just makes my heart happy. And so I really thought it started off strong. I was confused for a moment because I did not see her leave the ring, and then she like disappeared for like 2 minutes. And usually like the camera will like keep on whoever, even if they're outside the ring, but we didn't see her. And I was like, where did she go? And then here she comes and it just like pulls Laynie Luck right out of the ring. And I'm like, well, there she is. So yeah.
The virtuosa is always calculated and everything. She wanted you to forget that she was there, just like she wanted Laynie and Tasha to forget she was there, so she could just come and pounce.
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah. So moving on, then we have Tasha. At one point, she hits a penalty kick, and she goes for a near fall. Obviously, that didn't go her way. Deonna and Tasha try and team up again, hitting a suplex out of the corner. But both then tried to kind of go for the pin, and that's kind of where the dissension started to really sink in. What were your thoughts about that whole mid area and this kind of like Tasha and Deonna kind of like now butting heads because they both want the same outcome, but just one of them.
Yep. I was like, well, see, this is what you kind of get into, right? Like, it's nice that you're teaming up, but then what happens? This happens. So I love the double German suplex. I love that. I thought that was a really great move. And this moment where Deonna is like stomping at Laynie Luck in the corner. I like this whole middle sequence. The whole entire match, actually, I thought this was, for me, well, I won't say I would say maybe it was the best match for me, but what do you think? What were your thoughts of?
So yeah, I even tweeted about it. I was like, this match, I think I said something along the lines like this match was doing it for me, because it really was. Do I want to say, like, I don't know, because I feel like every match was so good. It's like I need to like rewatch them to really come to a decision, because I feel like every match kind of delivered in their own ways. I don't know.
Yep.
But after that, Laynie hits a big clothesline on both of the competitors. Like, she's trying to get some offense, like, because she's definitely up against two. Because at any point they could, reconcile again, and then it's just her. It's a handicap match all over again. So after that, Laynie kind of hits them both in the corner, into a double snapmare, into a double drop kick for a near fall. Tasha hits a move off the ropes into a pin attempt, but Deonna catches her. And then when she tries to do her finisher, Tasha hits her with double knees. Deonna rolls Laynie up for another near fall. It just wasn't going, but then catches Laynie in a Fujiwara armbar for the win. And that's the match.
Yep. Got her in the, yeah, there we go. Victorious.
Queen teams.
Yeah.
But how do you feel? And were you happy with the outcome and who won?
You know what? I actually was. Going into this one, I did not have a favorite. I was okay with any three of these ladies winning. That was, so I just kind of came to that conclusion, and I was like, let me just get on what I'm seeing here. And overall, it was great. Like, I can't wait to see more of these like pairings. I really enjoyed it. Good.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Definitely, this was a treat. Definitely. So definitely enjoyed it for what it was. And yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I was kind of vibing with all the competitors. So anyone that really won, it would have been a win for me, because I got to watch the match, huh? So now we have another interview with Vita Scott. This one is with the Hex. After losing their NWA tag titles, they are in a somber mood, obviously. And Vita kind of rubbed salt because she forgot to say former, which peeved Marty off a lot. But to end it, Allison Kay basically says, we're going to prove to people, or not prove, but we're going to remind people how dominant we are. And the only thing that we have to say is Hex marks the spot. I loved it. What did you think about that interview?
I mean, I felt bad. I mean, of course, last week, we, mentioned that, they had, because it was pre-recorded, that they had since, lost their titles. And yes, they have that Hex appeal. We're just we're being punny today. And so, I felt bad for them, but I really like the Hex. I like the chemistry that they have and that they're real friends. And where we see that as opposed to, Tootie, Lynn, Ramsey, and Sierra, which are new to women's wrestling army. We have not seen them before, so I got some info about them. So here we go. So starting with Sierra, she's also known as AKA Evil Sierra, and she's the current WPW Women's Champion, BCW Women's Championship, Brew City Wrestling Women's Champion, ICW Midwest Championship 2 times, ICW Tag Team Championship 3 times, and that's just a few. So she's wrestled with everyone, you name it, with Rise and Shine and Shimmer, and she's also been with, let's see, like I said, Brew City Wrestling, AEW. She's also done, who else? I think she wrestled with Beyond as well. Just you name it. So she's been doing this since 2015. So yeah, and then she's paired with Tootie, Lynn, Ramsey. What are you saying? I appreciate Sierra adding evil to her name so there's no confusion. Exactly. I don't know if I saw much evil from her in this match, but we'll get to that. I mean, okay, we'll get to that. So she is paired with Tootie, Lynn, Ramsey, and you can already tell during their exchange that there's a little, they're not as compatible, shall we say. But a little bit about Tootie Lynn, aka is it Saishin? I didn't know how to pronounce it. That is her name, or the Blue Dragon.
The blue, I think it's the Blue Dragon.
I saw both in my research, so
I was know. It could be. Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess
she's a former CCW Women's Champion, former Midwest Territory Champion as well, and she has also been wrestling since actually 2017, and she's wrestled with Glory Pro, AEW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, I believe, to correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know if you would know. And so she's done her thing, and has her what am I trying to say? Her team. Oh goodness, I don't. Wow, you know what? I blanked out. Never mind. Forget that part. All I know is going into this, we have one tag team that are friends, that are well suited, for each other, that get along, versus the other two who aren't. And so we'll see how that turns out. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that JD said that, because this match was giving, okay, it wasn't giving evil, but it definitely was giving mean girl.
Yes.
Sarah, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and I also liked the pairing because it kind of gave me the same feeling I had from last week with Holidead and Willow. Just someone who's a little bit so positive, and then you got the other person over here that's just negative energy. But I like Sierra though, because I'm just into that. I love a good mean girl. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's move into the match. Hold on, let me get up there. Yes, so initially it starts off with Sierra pushing Tootie, even just coming out for their entrance. It's just bad vibes. Why are you doing this? Okay. Marty and Tootie start off with a test of strength. They did trade a few holds before they kind of they were trying to figure out each other. You could tell. After that, though, Marty got the best. She started getting multiple hits in on Tootie in the corner before tagging in Allison Kay. I noticed that a lot, that they have a great strategy. Like they always do quick tags a lot of times, which I like because that's how you keep people fresh. Then Tootie also was able to get to Sierra and tag her in. So it's Sierra and Allison right now. Let's see here. So then the Hex hit Sierra with like a flurry of strikes. Like it was a lot. And I was like, girl, how was you kicking out? Because they definitely did try for a pin, but it did not work out in it didn't work out in the Hex's favor. The whole match, Sierra was very antagonistic with everyone, even her partner. How do you kind of feel about how she was acting and how the kind of match started off, even from the push in the beginning from the entrance?
Again, like it was like, okay, like you said, it was giving Mean Girl. I thought, okay, like we don't have, I don't know why their dynamic is the way that it is. It's just that's what it is, and so it is to me Mean Girl, right? So I mean, I think it was fine. Meaning that like whatever, if that's their dynamic, that's their dynamic. That was fine. But poor Tweety Lynn Ramsey girl, she was like, I don't know, like her whole entire time, her face. That's why I captured this picture right here, where she's just like at the bottom, where she's like, what's happening? Like I thought we're supposed to be doing this together, and like and that's not happening. And then there was a moment, I don't know if you are getting to that, but there was this whole entire moment where they actually teamed up really well. Her and Sierra teamed up really well and kept Marty in the corner and like away from Allison. So yeah, but you're muted yet again.
For God's sakes, I'm just gonna have to not mute.
We're gonna get it.
Tootie is doing the universal, like it's like that's what that pose is giving. Like, what's going on here? But yes, that was actually my next note that I was gonna say. They did cut off. They cut the ring in half for a good portion of time, and they had Marty on their side, kind of just digging away at her. Sierra did hit a suplex as well for a near fall, but it didn't really pan out. Allison Kay then gets tagged and hits a neck breaker into a spine buster for a near fall. She came in hot. Then let's see here. Then we have a super kick into a Saito suplex from Tootie for another near fall. Tootie gets shoved off the top rope at one point by Marty. So then Marty runs in with Allison, and Marty's able to catch a quick forearm on Sierra, and then Allison goes and hits her own Saito suplex. Yeah, I had a second chance to do it right. And that gets her the win. The Hex wins. How do you feel about the whole like ending sequence and just like the Hex winning? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I like the Hex. Every time I see Allison Kay, like I just become more and more of a fan of hers. And so I love how like where she came in hot when she had the ref wasn't doing what he needed to do. So she just hopped in that ring and like went in and saved Marty, and then just kind of took over. And I liked it. I like her wrestling style. I like how powerful she is and how smart she is. Right. And again, it goes to show that like her and Marty, they work really well together. And I think because they work so well together, again, this works as opposed to seeing Sierra and Tootie Lynn, even though they are great wrestlers, you can tell that like they weren't on the same page about certain things. And then that was like ultimately their downfall. So yeah.
Right. And I feel like just the whole dynamic, even like before Tootie and Sierra came out, kind of gave them almost like an out, gave them like a get out of jail free card. Cause it's like, who knows what could have been if they were on the same page and not like, but also I'm very happy for the Hex. I am a fan of this tag team, like more and more every time I see them. And I just have to say that sleeve on Allison is so hard. It's so hard.
Right.
I love that sleeve. Yes. That was the first time I got a full look at it. So I'm glad you had this picture because okay. Yeah, I love that. So
we're fans.
Yeah, definitely. So now we have Holidead. And I love Holidead. I can't say it enough. Like literally, Holidead cracks me up. Holidead basically was saying how she is the gatekeeper for Women's Wrestling Army. And if you want to get anything going on, you got to go through her. And I was like, period. She's gonna be defending her Mission Pro championship against Janai Kai, which I'm very excited about. Like, I think both of these women are very talented, so it's really cool to kind of see them lock horns and like, you know. So how did you feel about everything Holidead had to say before?
She is silly. I'm like, girl, she is silly to me. But I too was looking forward to this matchup because, like you said, we saw Holidead with Willow last time, and Janai. I'm really trying to figure out if it was Janai with Laynie or if we saw Janai again after that. I cannot remember, but either way, like every time that I've seen Janai, like she just gets better, and I feel like this here, like we saw that as well. So, yeah, excited for the match.
Yeah, me too. Definitely was excited as well because Janai is obviously a really good striker, and Holidead is no slouch at all. So starting off, and I just like to say, at this point, Holidead had held the title since October. I think that she's still actually the current. So, whoa. That's intense. Yeah. So we get started. Janai goes for a drop kick, but Holidead holds the rope. So initially it's like back and forth, but I feel like Holidead has a good control. But then we get a step up enziguri from Janai as a way to kind of attempt to regain control. Didn't work. Holidead slammed Janai, then they fall. It kind of like turned to a bit of a cat fight. They were like rolling around the ring.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that whole thing and them rolling out? I was like, okay.
That surprised me. I was really surprised. I didn't expect to see that. I was like, oh, they're still going. Okay, rolling. And then we have this whole entire, spot, sequence all, along the apron and on the, on the floor. So like, I was like, okay, let's just, let's go with it. But yeah, that was surprising that they were just like tussling for a minute before they just both rolled out.
Oh, honestly, I was like, oh, okay, this is turning. What's going on here? Yeah, you got problems with each other. So after that, Janai just kept kind of fighting back, trying to get some control. But then also she realized that she needs to get Holidead into the ring in order to win, because if they both get counted out, you don't win. You can't win championships with countouts. Well, not if it's not specifically that. Yes. But most regular, you can't do that. So she is fighting like with everything to get Holidead in the ring, and Holidead's like, I feel like Holidead was purposely making it much harder. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it was a part of her plan, but she didn't want to say that. It's okay. How did you kind of feel about her really like trying to it seemed like she was trying to not be put back in. Like, what do you think of that? Because I just wouldn't expect Holidead to do that. It could just be that maybe she was just very tired though.
It could be. I thought that she would have gotten her back in the ring sooner, like as soon as possible. But no, so you see her just going in, catching Janai's leg and just flipping her, and Janai going down on the apron, and then her just kind of going in, and I'm like, well, I mean, you got her back in the ring technically, but now let's keep it going. But yeah, I thought it was going to be a quicker thing. But you know what? I'm happy to see this. I like when we're shown, what they can do, not necessarily in the ring, but like, how are you going to utilize the space around you when you're not necessarily, when you're outside the ring? What does that look like? And I thought they, did a really good job with that.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that. So eventually, Janai is able to get Holidead into the ring. Well, actually, Holidead tried to get a leg drop on the apron, but Janai was able to get out of there. Mm-hmm. But then Janai kind of caught a couple of kicks. Well, she gave kicks to Holidead, but Holidead I feel like Holidead eventually recovered after she was put in a headlock as well. Mm-hmm. Then she kind of just kept going for Janai's legs, which is obviously a smart strategy, because I think that's like a big part of Janai's repertoire.
Yes.
So it was like, okay, do that. Exactly. At some point, she did hit a double headbutt. Well, they both did. And they knocked each other out, which kind of showed that they were both on the same page in terms of what they really wanted to kind of get done. Like they both wanted to hurt each other. Like they really were going for it. Then they kind of started trading chops when they were on the knees for a little bit. They continued to trade chops as they got up. Janai starts to get some good kick strikes in to get some control for a little bit. Janai then kicks Holidead straight in the throat. I mean, it was just so swift and quick how it happened. And then another strike and went for a pin attempt. It didn't go her way. How do you feel about that whole sequence?
Ooh, I was like, okay, the headbutt. So the double headbutt, which I have here, and as you can see, them both falling up here. And then the series of, well, we haven't gotten there yet, so I won't say, but and then like the kick to the throat in the corner, like that was tough. That was tough to watch. I don't know how I don't know how they be doing. I'm like, please. That I don't know. That just part, it just makes me uncomfortable. I know people, I don't know. Just my neck area. I don't know. It just makes me feel uncomfortable if like anybody is near it. So her kicking it. Oh, boy. Janai, she's a great striker. And I do like that Holidead was really trying to, before we got to this point, was definitely, like you said, really trying to incapacitate her in that way. And we saw her do that with like the headbutt to like the inner thigh. And so, but you know, Janai, she can't be denied, right? She still does what she does.
At all. You cannot deny it. Like, I just thought it was so swift and quick how the kick happened. It just caught me off guard. I was like, oh, I see it. So then moving in to everything else that was going on. After the, pin attempt, Janai tries a submission, but Holidead easily reverses it and then has Kai back into the corner. At some point, Janai does still get control back, which goes into her giving some chaos kicks into a flurry of violence, then a pin attempt, but it didn't work out. Again, another near fall. Holidead then hits a dead drop. Holidead hits Kai with a spine buster for another pin attempt as well. Like Holidead was just like, Janai drops an elbow across Holidead's throat. Like Janai was going for the throat a lot. I was like, oh, okay, you're scaring me. But in the end, it ended with Holidead hitting Darkness Falls for the win. Holidead is the winner. How do you feel about everything that took place with this match and the winner?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really great match. And I do like at the end where, Holidead calls Janai back in and was like, shook her hand and gave her props because, she deserved. And that was a really good match. My favorite part, one of my other favorite parts was like the series of like the chaos kicks that Janai was just like, bam, bam, bam. And I'm like, oh, dang, girl. Like, and I thought Holidead really was going to collapse. And then Janai gets her, like takes her head off, like with the kick. I'm like, so you gave her the chaos kicks and kick to the face. So that's a wrap, but it wasn't. So I like they just both have really formidable spirits and just like kept like whatever one up in each other the whole entire time. Yeah, I really liked this match overall. And like you said, Holidead, she retains. And what did you think? What was your overall thought of this match? And then going back to what we were saying before, I did say the other one was my favorite, but now I'm like, oh, maybe this one, they were all good. So what do you think as far as, which matches, like what worked, what didn't?
So as a whole, I would say every match was amazing. I definitely would kind of go with this match as my favorite personally, just because I feel like it was so hard hitting, so intense, and it's very cool when you see because I feel a lot of times women's wrestling, they don't even get the opportunity to really go to that point, go that hard and like really show what they can give. So it's always nice when you get to see it because if you're a wrestler, you're a wrestler. You shouldn't be held back to fight or do anything exactly how you want to because you're a woman. So yeah, that's what this match gave me. It gave what does a sex mean? Like, that's what it gave.
Right?
Yeah. So I definitely loved it so much. And the whole show was very entertaining for me. I really appreciated watching it. And for you, did you say like how the whole show was for you? Like, I would love to hear like how you felt about it as a whole.
I mean, I think overall, I enjoyed all the matches. I really did. And I feel like this one, as I was watching, I realized like I think this episode was my favorite so far, as far as like the matches and like, you know, who was matched up with who and just what they were showing us. Um, and I think it was the first time where for me, being new to all of this, where it was like, okay, like this is how you kind of solidify who your favorite wrestlers are, who are the people that you want to continue to watch, right? And that for me, I was like, oh yeah, like, okay, yeah, like I do, I want to continue to, you know, see what Allison and what the heck's like what they're doing, and you know, I really want to dig more into that, into them, and like, you know, same with Janai Kai, who has, you know, basically been, you know, she's on the rise, right? And so that's, you know, taking it all in for me, that was something that was surprising, where I was like, oh, okay, like I see how people who have been watching for a long time, you solidify your favorites and you follow them and you just kind of, you know, go with the flow. But I enjoyed it. I think this was my favorite episode so far. I know that we have another, like maybe 20 to go, but so far this was really, it was really great. Yeah.
I like that. I like how you worded everything. That's good. But yeah, okay, yes, there are other episodes and we will be doing them, but you can say what your favorite is so far. I will say my favorite was the one with Willow.
Yeah, I like Willow. I do.
But yeah, it's like, it's a lot of things, because I think every episode is up to par. So it's like, you're just like choosing from good and good and good and good and good. Like, you know, they're all good. So, you know, it's hard to like pick anything when it's all good, you know? But yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed this episode, and I enjoyed these matches and these women just putting their bodies like through absolute, you know, craziness that I wouldn't, because I'm just a punk. But I respect you and I will watch you doing it, because you're doing good. So any final words? And also, do you want to just let everyone where we can find you?
Yeah, final words. I know we didn't usually, like, Maria will, like, I think they had the commercial, which we've talked about before, but Maria, I think, recently had surgery. So wishing her all the best, you know, recovery and things like that. And so
No,
can't wait to see you
absolutely.
back out there. And then let's see, Women's Wrestling Talk Grand Rising. Good afternoon, lovely ladies. We are doing well. Thank you so much. I'm doing well. It's a great, beautiful day here in Los Angeles. I don't know, you know, with Shay, I'm so sorry.
It's terrible over here. I'm in New York.
I am so sorry. But yeah, doing well. But overall, other than that, like, I'm good. And you can find me on Twitter, as long as Twitter is around, at Aisha Watches. I tweet about the stuff that I'm watching. Shay, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me at Shay Sawyer _ on most of my platforms. And you can also catch me in like 2 hours right back here for yes, Wilson. Yes, I will be back for NXT. So catch me then, and then I'll go down the whole list. You know, I'll say, see, I don't know, I'll go the whole list on here, but I can just do it on there, you know?
Yeah. That's fine. And then you can catch me doing Dynamite after show, I think, for the next couple of weeks, just filling in for Mika. And yeah, you can check me out there with Al, and we, you know, like, check out last night's episode. We were shook. So yeah, check us out there. Wait, let's see. Women's Wrestling Army is indeed a very good wrestling promotion, which is watching matches along my travels. Yay.
No, they really are.
Glad to hear it. Hi, TK. Hello. And yes, today is a good day. It is a good day. Every day is a good day where we're alive and just get to, you know, hopefully live the lives that we want. So
okay. I woke up and I was off from work today, so that already told me it was a good day. Right. All right. Well, thank you to everybody that stopped by to, you know, chat with us and talk about this awesome episode of Women's Wrestling Army. So again, my dog. Again, this is Women's Wrestling Talk Podcast, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. I am Shay Sawyer. This is Aisha Watches. I'm gonna say your Twitter name, Aisha Watches.
Last name Lomax. I know I don't ever put my last name on here, but like, yes, that's the last name. I don't know if you guys are curious. It's on
That's
Twitter.
a great last name as well. Like, Jackpot much?
It's what?
My last name is boring. Like, my actual last name is just horrendous.
Okay. Sure.
All right. So thank you all again. Have an amazing day. I will see you guys in about an hour, and you will see this amazing face next week at the same time. Later.
Bye.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.